This is Kurt Heisinger, accounting professor at Sierra College and author of Managerial Accounting. This video describes the ethical issues that sometimes arise in when establishing the operating budget, in the budgeting process. So in the planning phase of the budgeting process, organizations really are most concerned about getting accurate estimates. And hopefully if we have accurate estimates of our sales and of the production that needs to take place and the materials that we need to make that production happen and the labor and the overhead and all those other budgets, that if we do that accurately, it will lead to positive results. And really what it comes down to is making sure that those budgets are accurate so that we don't, for example, manufacture too much product or too little product and we lose out on sales as a result. We want to make sure that we have accurate estimates so that we plan properly and that we have positive results. The control phase of the budgeting process is required to evaluate the performance of employees. So what happens, the planning phase is when we actually put the budget together beforehand, before the period occurs, before those activities occur. And in the control phase, the second bullet point here, is when we go back in time after the actual results are in and we compare the actual results to the budget that was established beforehand. And then oftentimes employees are evaluated based on that information. So for example, if we have a sales employee who is part of the planning process and part of the process of establishing a budget for sales, and says, let's see, we think we're going to sell $100 million worth of product. Often what will happen is then after the fact, we'll look at the actual results and see, well, did you sell $100 million worth of product? And if it was something more than that, then maybe we'll provide a bonus or some incentive to exceed that budget. And if the actual results are less than that $100 million for a period of time, then maybe that will reflect negatively on that employee. So getting to the third bullet point here, the employee must often decide, especially if that employee is helping out with the budget, with the planning phase, must often decide between doing what is best for the individual or what is best for the company. So for example, what might be best for the individual is to come up with a budget that really underestimates sales, and therefore that employee has a really good chance, if it's in the sales area, of exceeding that budget and being rated favorably as a result. The problem with that is if we underestimate the sales budget, then everything else, the production budget, direct materials, direct labor, overhead, will not have the correct information for planning purposes, and it may lead to inefficiencies in the production process when our sales are higher than we expect. So oftentimes there can be a conflict between the employee deciding on what is best for that individual and what is best for the company. And so then the next bullet point is another example that is related to establishing goals or having this conflict of wanting to establish goals that profitability in this example that are lower than really where they should be, and as a result the manager then may get compensated because if the profit is set too low in the budget process and the company achieves a better profit, then the manager gets compensated for that. So that is the issue. That's the issue that often crops up in the budgeting process. So the key is, last bullet point here, for organizations to have processes that are in place to make sure that employees are rewarded for meeting goals and, this is key, and for setting accurate estimates. So we want to actually put something in place that says we want accurate estimates from you, whether it's a sales employee, it might be a production employee or a production group estimating costs. It can be in a variety of places within our organization, but we want to set accurate estimates and then provide some incentives for those estimates to be accurate. And perhaps it's a bonus if they come in real close to what the estimate is. And it might be some kind of long-term incentive plan, like providing stock options that are vested over a long period of time. So whatever the case might be, whatever that incentive might be, we want to have an incentive in place for our employees to provide the most accurate estimates that they possibly can.